Hi everyone, good morning. Once again, a very warm welcome to all of you in this Happy Excel series organized by Happy GST, Mr. C. Rajendra Arora. Today we'll be discussing about working capital trending. So I think now we have come a long way starting from bubble graph. Then we touched upon the this productivity graph to check the daily productivity, and we move on to monitoring the sales uh, rate trend and the quantity trend in this graph. Then we went on to check the profitability analysis, the bridge between the original plan and the actual profitability coming up through this waterfall diagram. And in the last session, we touched upon the debtors piece, how aging of debtors can be shown in a graphical as well as in a trend line fashion. And today we'll be touching about how an overall working capital, including my uh, current assets, current liabilities, and net working capital, how can that be shown in one line and bar graph both? It's all one in the same graph. So this is the base data. Just color it for the purpose of clarity. Yeah, so this is revenue till date, revenue cost till date, and number of months for which this data is like this. Is YTD February, YTD March, YTD May. I have assumed there are no sales. YTD August lesser sales. YTD December lesser sales. And this is the working capital status in this information, wherein you can see my debtors are there, other assets, which will include anything, tax refund or any sort of other asset where we have some current asset lying up. Yeah. And inventory lying in our books. Current liabilities, I have made that in negative, and this is a net working capital coming up. Current assets minus current liabilities. This is the average monthly sale which we have calculated. So what we have calculated, we'll mark it in a different color for clarity. And this yellow is the data which we already have in hand, yeah. And these are the details again which we have calculated. So all in all, you can see this is coming up from the top. Revenue divided by number of months, average monthly sale. Yeah, that is how this average monthly sale is calculated. This is average monthly cost of sale divided by number of months. Yeah, and again, I have calculated this in months. My working capital in months. Yes. So how much are my debtors divided by average monthly sale is by number of months I have funds blocked as my debtors. So here the funds are blocked for 1.22 months. So that means my customer takes around 45 to 50 days to pay me back. That was the average in the month of February. March denotes a bit different picture, 0.49 months. So which basically means my debtors paid me 15 days in time. Yeah, in 15 days time. August was also good and December. So this is fluctuating. In this business, it's fluctuating. Normally, it should not be that fluctuating. Similarly, other assets, inventory and current liabilities. So for current liabilities, like current liabilities total divided by average monthly cost is what we have considered. So on an average, I'm enjoying a credit limit from my vendors of 3 months. There's a lot of data in these graph, but we'll just put it in a very simplistic form to show how we can see the working capital trend. Yeah. So I hope this data clarity is clear. I'll just do it once again. This first table includes my revenue cost and the number of months for which we are capturing the data. That's the first part. Second is, so sorry. Second is my working capital debtors, other assets, inventory, and current liability. So here I've calculated net working capital. Yeah. And in the last table, I have calculated working capital and all the ancillary figures in months. Yeah. So this is all in crores. This is all in months. So we'll make two graphs out of these two table. So let's start with the first one first. So we'll select data till here, net working capital, debtors, other assets, inventory, and current liabilities. We'll insert a graph. Here we'll go on a combo. So for net working capital, we don't need it in the bar graph form. This we should make in the line graph. Oops, 1 second. Yeah. So just the net working capital in the line graph and other columns in the stacked column normal bar graph that we will put. So here, what is in principally bearing? So this is the negative piece because this is my current liability. So I've kept this in completely negative. Yeah. And what we can see here is that my working capital is trending somewhere between 65 to 90. So this is the first important thing that's coming up out of this piece. Yeah. Now I think it's more clearly visible. So this color formatting you will have to use, otherwise sometimes numbers are too much that it's jumbled up. So from that Excel, this is the first thing that we can do. Along with this, how we have to see it is we have to use this number of months graph as well. I'm going to make a same graph as above. See, you will find more logical graph coming up in case of the uh, second graph, second chart instead of the first chart. See, first one is all in values. This is a working capital trend. This is all in INR crores, yeah. And this is in months. So at this point, I can see here I can see my working capital is not fluctuating much from 66 to 91 crores. So still I can say, okay, there is a change of 20-25%. But when I see here, it is showing me a drastic change, telling me that my working capital trend has moved from 4 months. That means on an average, money that was blocked in my business was 4 months, which has now turned to 12 months and beyond. because of whatever reason. So at least this gives an insight that, okay, though the value has not changed drastically, I can still say as of February 2020, my working capital was highest, 91 crores. But if you compare it with the business that's happening, it is not aligned. Either I'm not taking good credit from the customers, or I am not maintaining good inventories. Here, it's a different scenario. We can all see here from a naked eye that this is the culprit. This other assets has increased drastically. So this needs to be seen. जब business ही नहीं है, what is the reason that other assets are increasing? On an overall basis, this value is not changing much, but this is changing drastically. This number of months of work, ideally it should be aligned, right? Working capital in months should move with the business. If I'm doing good business, then working capital months should increase. If I'm doing bad business, working capital months should decrease. There can be certain things which may not be linked, but most of the things, 70-80% of the values that are coming up in case of working capital should ideally be linked to my business. If it is not, then obviously there is a reason to worry, or there is a reason to do deep dive that why is it not matching. More period you put in this graph, more clarity you will get in terms of where my working capital is heading towards. Yeah. Yeah, so these are the two graphs I wanted to present here. Let me just redo it once again. So as I told you, these are revenue figures, base data, no alteration. Cost numbers, base data, number of months for which this data is. Like here, it's 11 months, 12 months. YTD, I assume there are no numbers just to make this piece look with more clarity. So August I reduce the numbers, December I reduce the numbers. Debtor, other assets, inventory, current liabilities, coming base data. Net working capital is calculated. Average monthly sale is calculated. Uh, the revenue divided by number of months, and average monthly cost divided by number of months. Yeah, and this debtor is coming up. Debtor divided by average monthly sale. Assets divided by average monthly sale. Inventory divided by average monthly cost, and current liability divided by average monthly cost. From here, we drew this, selected this one, inserted the this graph, bar graph, and then we change the chart type, go to combo, clustered, stacked column, stacked column, net working capital. So this is working capital trend. INR crores. And similarly, let's touch upon the months piece. Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's what it is in this. Even though there's numbers were too much in terms of graphical presentation, but I think this month's graph is coming quite cleaned up. And just to drill down in terms of root cause, see, there's the same thing you can see here as well. That is from 3 months it has turned to 7 months. But here other assets from 3 months inventory to from 3 months it is going to 11 months of inventory, which does not make sense. When you don't have sale, why are you blocking inventory? Which type of inventory is it? Raw material or finished goods or work in progress? What sort of inventory is blocked when you're not selling anything? Obviously there is some planning issue. Otherwise, May there was no sale, August there was pretty bad sale, December there is a pretty bad revenue coming up. So why is this working capital increasing? Inventory, why it's inventory increasing? Why are other assets increasing? So there is no reason why it will jump 4 times or 3 times. And I did not enjoy the same level of liability or credit from my vendors. That is why my current liabilities are not increasing that much. It's just double. But if you look at the current assets part, all my debtors and my inventory both have gone beyond 4 times. So which is not an ideal case. There is obviously something which was not planned well. There was some planning issue that happened, which needs to be scrutinized. Yeah. In terms of value, it's not showing much change. But if you look at these two graphs together, then it is giving a good insight of the data to us. Yeah. I think in the next class we'll be covering how a speedometer is prepared. Speedometer is basically wherein we can see are we within the range or we are going beyond the normal average numbers in the working capital. Yeah. So well, let's start upon that area in the next class. On that note, have a good day. And if there are any further queries, you can mention in the comment section or route it through C Rajendra Raji, and that will apparently eventually come to me, and we can take that in the upcoming sessions. Yeah. Thank you so much, and thanks for your love. Have a nice day.